Good morning and welcome all my dear student of FY BSc Physics class. In previous lecture, we have studied the definition of heat engine, then definition of working substance. Then we also studied the first theoretical heat engine, that is Carnot's engine. And we also studied the Carnot's cycle. Now in this lecture, we are going to study the efficiency of Carnot's engine. See here, in previous lecture we studied the Carnot heat cycle. This Carnot cycle consists of 4 parts. C1, C2 represents isothermal expansion, which takes place at constant temperature T1. During this change, the system is placed on the source of heat, and work done during this change is nothing but W1 is equal to RT1 natural logarithm of V2 upon V1. The second part or second operation of Carnot cycle is C2, C3. This is nothing but adiabatic expansion. As system is placed on insulating stand, then system is totally isolated from that of surrounding, and when we adjust the pressure on the piston so that adiabatic expansion takes place, then obviously there is a fall in temperature from T1 to T2. During this change, work done is Wt is equal to RT1 minus T2 upon gamma minus 1. Okay. Now the third operation of Carnot cycle is C3, C4. This is nothing but the isothermal compression. Now during this change takes place at constant temperature. Obviously, when we place the system, remove the system from the source and place on the sink, and when we adjust the pressure on the piston so that the gas expand, the gas compressed isothermally. When the gas is compressed isothermally, obviously its temperature T2 remains constant, volume is decreased from V3 to V4, and pressure is increased from P3 to P4. And during this change, the work done is W is equal to minus RT2 ln V3 upon V4. Remember that here, when work done is positive, obviously work is done by the gas, and this negative sign here indicates that work is done on the gas rather than work is done by the gas. Okay. Now the last operation is C4, C1. Now this is nothing but adiabatic compression. When we remove the system from insulating stand, sink and place on insulating stand, and when we adjust the pressure on the piston so that gas is compressed adiabatically, and as system is totally separated or totally isolated from that of surrounding, obviously its temperature increases from T2 to T1. Remember that system starts from C1 and it comes back to C1 after completing the number of successive operations. Now during this adiabatic compression, the work done is W4 is equal to minus RT1 minus T2 upon gamma minus 1. Again here, remember that the negative sign indicates that work is done on the gas. Okay. Now, when cycle is completed, obviously its internal energy remains constant. Okay. Now, we have to see, or we have to obtain the expression for Carnot's efficiency of Carnot's engine. The efficiency of Carnot engine is given by eta is equal to work obtained to energy supplied. Or we can say that efficiency of Carnot heat engine is defined as it is the ratio of work obtained to energy supplied. Work obtained W and energy supplied is Q1. Suppose this is equation 5. Okay. Here Q1 is the, remember that Q1 is the amount of heat absorbed by the gas from the surrounding, and Q2 is the amount of heat rejected by the gas to the sink at constant temperature, constant low temperature T2. Hence, net amount of heat is nothing but Q1 plus minus Q2. Why this positive? Because heat is absorbed, and this is negative because heat is rejected. Hence, total heat or net amount of heat absorbed by the gas during one complete cycle is nothing but Q1 plus minus Q2, or simply Q1 minus Q2. Okay. For cyclic process, remember that for cyclic process, the change in internal energy of the system, change in internal energy of the gas is 0, because the gas brought back to its original condition or original state. Then according to first law of thermodynamics, work done is equal to what? Net heat absorbed. What is work done? Work done is W. Net heat absorbed is Q1 minus Q2. Okay. Suppose this is equation 6. Now, when we substitute the value of W, that is Q1 minus Q2 in equation 5, we have eta is equal to Q1 minus Q2 upon Q1. Suppose this is equation, or simply 1 minus Q2 upon Q1. Suppose this is equation 7. Okay. Now, what is the total work done? Total work done is nothing but W is equal to W1 plus W2 plus W3 plus W4. Okay. Hence, you can write total work done W is equal to W1 plus W2 plus W3 plus W4. Substitute the value of W1, W2, W3 and W4 from equation 1, 2, 3 and 4 respectively. Obviously, we have R T1 ln V2 upon V1 plus T R1 R T1 minus T2 minus upon gamma minus 1 minus R T2 ln V3 upon V4 minus R T1 minus T2 upon gamma minus 1. See, these two work dones are equal and opposite, and hence getting cancelled with each other, and we have simply W is equal to R T1 ln V2 upon V1 minus R T2 ln V3 upon V4. Okay. V3 upon V4. Suppose this is equation 8. Now, we have to substitute the value of work done W and what? Q1 in this equation 5. When we substitute the value of Q1 is equal to R T1 ln V2 upon V1, and value of W is this. So, we have efficiency is equal to W upon Q1 is nothing but R T1 ln V2 upon V1 minus R T2 ln V3 upon V4 upon R T1 ln V2 upon V1. Suppose this is equation 8. Okay. Sorry, 9. This is 8 and this is 9. Okay. Now, in order to solve this equation 9 further, we have to consider that the point, we have to follow the adiabatic relation. We know that for adiabatic change, TV raised to gamma is equal to what? Constant. This equation gives the adiabatic relation between temperature and volume, or this equation represents the relation between temperature and volume when the change is adiabatic. Now applying this equation, TV raised to gamma minus 1 to first this curve, that is we have to apply this equation to this adiabatic expansion C2 C3. When we apply this equation to this curve, we have obviously T1 V1 raised to gamma minus 1 is equal to T1, not V1, V2, this point is equal to T2 V3 raised to gamma minus 1, this point. Okay. Suppose this is equation 10. Now we have to also apply this equation to this adiabatic compression. When we apply this equation to this curve, that is at point C4 and C1, we have C1 and C4, T1 V1 raised to gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V4 raised to gamma minus 1. Suppose this is equation 11. Okay. Now when we divide equation 10 by 11, when we divide equation 10 by 11, we have V2 upon V1 is equal to V3 upon V4. This equation, we have to get this equation from these two. That is, when we divide equation 10 by 11, then we get this. Now we have to substitute the value of V3 by V4 as V2 by V1 in this equation. After substituting this value, we get eta is equal to R T1 ln V2 upon V1 minus R T2 ln V2 upon V1. That is, instead of this V3 upon V4, we substitute V2 upon V1 divided by R T1 ln V2 by V1. This R is getting cancelled with this R. Then this term, when we take common, then getting cancelled with this term. And we have T1 minus T2 upon T1. Or from this equation, 1 minus T2 upon T1. Suppose this is equation 12. Okay. This is whatever it is. Now, this is the expression for eta is equal to T1 minus T2 upon T1, or simply 1 minus T2 upon T1. This or this equation, both the equation are set. This equation represents the expression for efficiency of the Carnot heat engine. Now from equation 7 and this 12, we have 7 and 12. What is equation 7? Equation 7 is eta is equal to 1 minus Q2 upon Q1. And what is equation? Tell this. So from this equation 7 and 12, we have 1 minus Q2 upon Q1 is equal to 1 minus T2 upon T1. Okay. This one is getting cancelled with this term, minus minus plus. So we have finally Q2 upon Q1 is equal to T2 upon T1. When we make the concentration here, as T2 is less than T1, the efficiency is always less than 1. Okay. What I say? When we make the concentration to this equation, as T2 is less than T1, obviously the efficiency of Carnot's engine is less than 1. Thus, from this we find two things. One, the efficiency of Carnot's engine depends on the temperature of sink and source and not the nature of working substance. What I say, from this equation it is found that the efficiency of Carnot's engine depends only upon the temperature of source T1 and temperature of the sink T2 and does not depend upon the nature of working substance. Also from this we found that another thing, the efficiency of heat engine, Carnot's engine is 100% if T1 is infinite or T2 is 0. But neither these situations are physically realizable. So the efficiency of heat engine is always less than 100%. Okay. In this way we studied the efficiency of Carnot's heat engine. Now we are going to study or we are going to see practical heat engine. Up to this point or up to this we studied Carnot's engine, Carnot cycle and efficiency of Carnot's engine, Carnot heat engine. Now we are going to study another heat engine, that is practical heat engine. There are two types of practical heat engine. External combustion engine. First one is external practical heat engine or simply heat engine. There are two types of practical heat engine. First one is external combustion heat engine and second one is internal combustion heat engine. Okay. Now in this type of external heat engine, in this type of heat engine, the combustion of fuel takes place outside the cylinder. In external combustion heat engine, the combustion of fuel takes place outside the cylinder. For example, steam engine, steam railway heat engine. Now second, internal combustion type engine. In this type of heat engine, the combustion of fuel takes place inside the cylinder of engine. What is the difference between two? Here combustion of fuel takes place outside the cylinder and here in internal combustion engine, combustion of fuel takes place inside the cylinder. Now for internal combustion engine, the working substance is air. In internal combustion engine, working substance is air, but actually air is mixed with a small quantity of any type of combustible gas or petrol vapor. Okay. Petrol vapor or simply vapor. I am again going to repeat. In internal combustion, because we have to study the internal combustion engine. Now here remember that in this internal combustion engine, the combustion of fuel takes place inside the cylinder of engine. For such engine, the working substance is air. For internal combustion type of engine, working substance is air. But actually, air is mixed with a small quantity of combustible gas or vapor. So, again, this internal combustion type engine, there are two types of internal combustion type engine. First one is, suppose, Otto engine, and second one is diesel engine. Okay. Now we are going to see one by one. First of all, we have to study the Otto engine. Otto engine. Then we have to study Otto cycle, and then efficiency of Otto engine. Okay. Now we are going to see about Otto engine. What is Otto engine? Otto engine. An Otto engine was invented by German engineer Nicholas Otto. Nicholas Otto. This is a German engineer. This was a German engineer. What I say? An Otto engine was invented by a German engineer Nicholas N-I-C-O. Nicholas Otto. Nicholas Otto in 1876. An Otto engine was invented by a German engineer Nicholas Otto in 1876. This is first practical heat engine. Remember that. After then, diesel engine was also invented in Germany. So, credit of both the practical heat engine, that is Otto engine or petrol engine, Otto engine or petrol engine, and then diesel engine. Credit of both of these engines goes to Germany. Okay. So, this Otto engine was invented by Nicholas Otto in 1876. This is first practical heat engine, and it is an internal combustion type. Internal combustion type 4-stroke engine. Okay, this is 4-stroke engine. Diesel engine also 4-stroke. Now here we are going to concentrate only on Otto engine. Okay, in this type of heat engine, air is the working substance and petrol vapor acts as a fuel. Remember that Otto engine is internal combustion type 4-stroke engine, and in this type of engine, air is the working substance and petrol vapor acts as the fuel. Okay. So, the mixture of air and petrol vapor is nothing but the charge for Otto engine. Okay. We are going to see the construction of Otto engine. The Otto engine consists of cylinder, this is the piston, the Otto engine consists of a cylinder fitted with frictionless and movable piston, this is piston rod, this is piston. Okay. This cylinder is fitted with spark plug, and there is outlet hole I2 and inlet hole I1. This is crankshaft, and this is wheel. See, the construction of Otto engine is very simple. The engine consists of cylinder fitted with airtight movable piston and a controlled system of two valves, I1 and I2. Okay. I1 is air inlet valve and I2 is outlet valve. I1 is air inlet valve and I2 is outlet valve. There is also a spark plug which produces a spark of high voltage to ignite the mixture of pure air and petrol. Okay. When spark is produced, obviously the mixture inside the cylinder getting burns and work is done. Piston rod is connected to crankshaft, which is then connected to this wheel. Okay, this is very simple construction. Now we are going to see the working of Otto engine. Here we are going to see how Otto engine works. Now the working of Otto engine can be divided. Working of Otto engine can be divided into 4 stages called strokes. What I say, the working of Otto engine can be divided into 4 stages called 4 strokes of the engine. These strokes are nothing but charging stroke, then second one is compression stroke, then third stroke is nothing but working stroke, and last fourth stroke is exhaust strokes. Okay. What I say, there are 4 strokes, and these four strokes are nothing but charging stroke, compression stroke, working stroke, and exhaust stroke. When all these 4 strokes are occurs, Otto cycle getting completes. That Otto cycle consists of 4 strokes, that is charging stroke, compression stroke, working stroke, and exhaust stroke. But one cycle consists one cycle of operation involves 6 operations, 4 strokes and 6 operation. See here, I am going to draw the diagram of Otto cycle. Very simple figure is there. Otto cycle. This is y-axis on which pressure is considered. This is x-axis on which volume is considered. A0 to A, B, C, D. See here, this is very simple construction. This is diagram of Otto cycle. Otto cycle, I told you that there are 4 strokes. First one is, this is charging stroke. Okay, then this is compression stroke. Then last one is working stroke, and then exhaust stroke. There are 4 strokes, but what I told you, one cycle of operation involves 6 operations. This is operation number 1st, operation 2nd, operation 3rd, operation 4th, operation 5th and operation 6th. Okay, so you have to remember that there are 4 strokes, charging stroke, compression stroke, working stroke and exhaust stroke. You have to also remember that Otto cycle consists of 4 strokes, but one cycle of operation involves 6 operations as shown in this figure. Now we are going to see all the 4 strokes one by one, and during this time we have to find out the work done during every stroke. So see here, the first stroke, that one is charging stroke. What is charging stroke? As the name suggests, charging stroke is that stroke in which the charge, that is mixture of 98% pure air and 2% petrol vapor, is taken into the cylinder. What happens in charging stroke? In charging stroke, as the name suggests, charging stroke is that stroke in which the charge, that is fuel mixture, nothing but 98% air and 2% petrol vapor, this mixture is called charge, and this charge is taken into the cylinder. Okay, how this charge is taken into the cylinder? See here, make your concentration. First of all, the inlet hole I1 opens and the outlet hole I2 closes. During the first stroke, during the charging stroke, what happens? Inlet hole I1 opens, outlet hole I2 closes. The cylinder is moving in outward direction, and obviously the charge that is mixture of 98% air and 2% petrol vapor is taken inside the cylinder or taken into the cylinder. This stroke is represented on this Otto cycle diagram is by the line A0 to A. This line A0 to A represent the first operation or represent the first stroke, charging stroke. Now after looking to this line, it is clear that the charge is taken at constant pressure. That is, charge, that's a mixture of 98% air and 2% petrol vapor, are taken inside the cylinder at constant pressure, that is isobarically, and obviously volume goes on increasing from A0 to A, volume increasing from 0 to VA, volume increases from 0 to VA, and this volume increases isobarically. Isobarically means what? At constant pressure. And this change of state from A to A0 is represented by the first operation, that is represented by the line A0. Okay. The compression stroke. Second one is compression stroke. But due to lack of time, it is not possible to cover or to study remaining strokes. So in next lecture we will study the compression stroke, that is operation number 2 and 3, then working stroke, operation number 4 and 5, and then last one is exhaust stroke, that is operation 6. After then we will also study the efficiency of auto engine. Till then we shall stop here. Have a good day. Thank you.